Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about embryonic development and how it's important or how gene regulation is important in embryonic development. So let's talk about what embryonic development is. It is the process of changes, or you can even say the sequence of changes that occur, from the moment a zygote has been fertilized until birth. So this period of time from the moment the egg was fertilized until the actual process of birth happens is what we call embryonic development. And gene regulation, or controlling those genes, is really important to make sure that the organism develops properly. So we're going to say gene regulation is critical for proper development. Now, the thing about the zygote, once it has formed, that again, that's the egg and sperm, once it has formed, begins to go through mitosis, and then at some point the cells are going to become specialized. So once you are at that stage, once the zygote has become or gotten to a certain number of cells, that point the cells become specialized and they cannot be turned back into what we call stem cells. So once the zygote is past that certain point, or I'll put a certain number of cells, the cells will become specialized and they cannot be changed back. Well, not without like heavy chemical use and genetic engineering. The cells become specialized and are no longer stem cells. So the idea behind stem cells, this is stem. The idea behind stem cells is that they are cells that can be any other part of the body. They can become any type of tissues. But at a certain point in the zygote's development, those cells are going to turn off genes and only focus on the genes that they're supposed to be. So a classic example is, let's say, the development of your spinal column or your spinal cord. Development of the vertebrae. Okay, once your spinal column has developed, you are never going to grow another spinal column. The idea is that that is the one that you have basically for the rest of your life. And in this particular case, it's a gene that is called HOX6. That is the gene that is going to control your vertebrae. And then in the case of the HOX6, depending on the type of animal that it becomes, the amount and the control of this gene is going to be different. So if you think about let's say humans, okay, think about your own spinal column versus the spinal column of a giraffe. 2 Fs, I think. So the amount of expression by this gene is going to be different for humans versus giraffe versus a mouse versus any other different organism that has that, because the size is different. And so the amount of time that this gene is left on is different in humans versus giraffe because of how many vertebrae are going to be needed. And so once that gene has finished its job and you've gotten to the point where you as a baby had your spinal column, that gene is turned off and it is never turned on again. So proper development of a baby, of any organism, is going to be thanks to controlling what genes are on and when. So if you're a baby and you're only like 3 months old inside your mother's uterus, you're not going to get the genes for puberty activated. And likewise, if you're a 40-year-old person, you're not going to get the genes activated for making a new heart. So an organism's development and its structural features are heavily, heavily dependent on controlling the gene expression. So not only during, while you're alive, but also during that embryonic development. I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye.